Alright, so what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we'll be looking at the spoilers for My Hero Academia Chapter 283, titled 75, and now I'm so excited to get into this. So without further ado, let's roll the intro, and let's get right into these spoilers. Alright, so if we pull up the Twitter page here, the chapter opens with Yaoyorozu, Jiro, and Sero, and all of the other students who are trying to stop Gigantomachia looking in horror at the destruction he has caused, which we can guess he's destroyed pretty much the entirety of the city at this point, which is really, really bad for the heroes, but I mean, what can they do against Gigantomachia? We then see in the rubble Tokoyami holding a very bandaged Hawks, which we haven't seen Hawks or Tokoyami in a couple chapters. Oh, did I not? Oh, okay, good. Well, my bad. Which we haven't seen Tokoyami or Hawks in a couple chapters, and we also see him carrying someone else with Dark Shadow, which is, I don't know who it could be. I only remember Hawks being at that fight and Tokoyami coming in at the last minute, but I might have to go right back and see if any other hero did come along. Momo then says, "Oh my god," and contemplates how they ever thought they were safe, with Gigantomachia wreaking havoc on everyone. It's just a whole lot of insanity going on in the city right now. From what I'm seeing here, Gigantomachia goes to attack Uraka, and she ends up using her quirk and floats everyone up above to destruction that Gigantomachia is wreaking everywhere and just destroying pretty much the entire city to get to Shigaraki at this point. The students then discuss the consequences of their failure, and they think back on every moment and every discussion that they have just made and the outcome. Moneta says, "All of our decisions and actions, were they right? Heroes, discussions, and actions, are they important?" Then the following panel suddenly shows an unconscious Hawks. This is meant to prompt the reader to consider if Hawks' prior actions, murdering twice, were morally correct in the sense of being a hero. We then see Gigantomachia's extreme destruction over the city, which he was towering over at the end of chapter 282. And it is just absolutely insane. I mean, Gigantomachia at this point is an unstoppable monster. He is going to get to Shigaraki no matter what and bring the League of Villains there. And I am truly scared for when Gigantomachia does get there and what that means for the heroes in the fight with Shigaraki. The heroes yell in horror as pieces of falling debris are collapsing onto citizens as Gigantomachia roars and then says or thinks to himself, it's not really quite clear as of right now, that he's coming to life as he destroys everything, which is more him. I guess he's just loving life right now, you have fun destroying stuff. Have you ever just, smash something you feel good after? Maybe it's more like that. Or I'm not sure what the meaning of this could be. We'll have to wait till the, translated version is out. The League, including Dabi, Toga, Compress, and everyone else, are all fine, with Dabi even smiling freely as they hold on to Gigantomachia, which that actually scares me because now I feel, we know Gigantomachia and the League are going to end up to the battle with Shigaraki and the other heroes, and we know Endeavor is there, and Todoroki has just arrived at the battle. So think about it. Dabi had said his name, and it was blacked out. Endeavor's at the battle. Todoroki has just ended up at the battle. Dabi is going to the battle. I think it's safe to assume that something there is going to happen with the full reveal that Dabi is Toya Todoroki, and maybe even Endeavor's death and a nice, will probably be an amazing fight between Dabi and Todoroki. We then cut to the Doctor having an outburst about Gigantomachia and his roar, and how this was all meant to be. He says that Gigantomachia was engineered to die for his lord. which then causes President Mike to look at him in horror. The doctor then says the Nomu are an imitation of this Gigantomachia and his willingness to die for Shigaraki. The king needs soldiers, doesn't he? Strong soldiers, and the scene shows the bioengineered high-end Nomu fighting some of the heroes. The doctor ends his rant by saying, as long as Manchana moves, we cannot escape ruin. Machia, I read that wrong. The scene then picks back up to Shigaraki and Deku, what we're all absolutely loving right now, with someone, possibly the doctor, saying Shigaraki is destroying a hero-saturated society, which implies that the society is overrun with heroes. We then see Shigaraki standing proud, with Deku looking on in rage and Aizawa unconscious as he lays in the rubble. I gotta say, man, this fight with Shigaraki and the heroes is getting more and more intense every chapter. Todoroki then skates by Endeavor on his ice, and Endeavor yells Shoto. In surprise, Todoroki says, I was late to help, and assures his father that he is here now. He says to Endeavor, you can cool yourself down to a more relaxing point, referring to Endeavor, sort of reaching his limit with his flames, which is great to see Todoroki at the battle, and Todoroki and Endeavor more so getting along, especially in this fight, which may be Endeavor's last. We then see Bakugo, unharmed, sitting alone on the ground near the rubble. He looks shocked as he observes Deku blasting off straight toward Shigaraki, and yells, I don't think it's going to work. Which, we're getting a little, Shigaraki is a little OP here, Deku. You gotta calm down, you ain't the shit yet. And he is obviously, yelling that out of worry for Deku. We then see Rocklock and Manuel attending to Aizawa and trying to stop his bleeding. Rocklock then sees Deku charging forward and closes his eyes in worry, saying Deku then yells at him to get away, but Deku then says, I don't want to, with his face painted in rage. Shigaraki says, well, but cuts himself off. A rip suddenly appears across his chest with blood gushing out. Shigaraki then yelps in surprise as he looks down at himself in horror. It's unclear as to why this happens, but it is likely because Shigaraki's 75% completion rate may just now be seeing the drawbacks from him being incomplete, as his body has suddenly unexpectedly torn apart, random gash across his chest. Shigaraki then vaguely says to himself, until now, it's not yet complete. I understand I moved against physical limitations, which, obviously Shigaraki has been pushing himself way over his limit in this fight to defeat the heroes, which he has been winning, surprisingly. Deku then thinks to himself, but now his super recovery quirk is working. On the other hand, I don't know how many quirks I have in my body right now. Deku, he's trying to figure out what he can do, which this is more likely going to be him unlocking Float in this chapter, I think. Although I would really like to see it with Uraka, with her being in danger, since, Uraka's quirk is Float, or Gravity. I think it's Float, and Deku also has a quirk, Float. I think that would have gone great with that, but I don't think we're going to see that in this chapter. Shigaraki suddenly looks to Deku and asks him in an oddly open expression, what date is it now? Which, that is a little weird. You're like in mid-battle, you're just like, shit, what day is it? I think I forgot my dry cleaning. Deku then just mumbles something about something in his body, and then thinks to himself that Gran Torino has limited time alive right now, So, it seems Gran Torino is still alive. I know a lot of people thought, even myself, he died in, like, what was it, chapter 282? And it looked like he died. I mean, Shigaraki put his hand straight through his chest. I think this is a bit of kind of BS that Gran Torino's still alive. I thought it was really impactful, especially in that fight, that Shigaraki killed a hero in the midst of the fight. But it looks like Horikoshi is going back on that now. And, having Gran Torino still alive, which I'm not really the biggest fan of. Deku then recalls that he still has limited/force control over One For All, and pictures all of his past failures of misusing One For All. He thinks regretfully that he's not ready to use it at all this time, which, Deku, I don't know, you shouldn't be going straight into Shigaraki if you don't think you're ready to use One For All. Suddenly, the scene shifts to a flashback of Mariko busting open Shigaraki's container, which says 758. Someone then holds an injured Mariko, telling her to sleep. She then says that you win if you live, so I think she's refusing to give up, which she is still alive right now, but she might die in the future, and I do think a lot of heroes are going to die before the end of this arc. I do think this arc will end with the villains winning and a huge time skip. Sort of like a Naruto Shippuden kind of thing. The scene then cuts back to Shigaraki and Deku, Shigaraki goes down on his knees and reaches to lay his hand on the ground and activate decay. Oh, this is getting intense. Suddenly, Deku lashes out Black Whip as Shigaraki's hand makes contact with the ground. Shigaraki yells out loud, "If you touch it, it's over." Oh my... oh my god. Holy shit. As a giant wave of decay forms into existence, Deku then leaps into the sky and uses Black Whip to launch everyone around him in the air, thinking to himself, "One for all, the seventh Soother," and Rock Lock remarks out loud, "Floating." It looks like Deku has unlocked Float in this chapter. That is insane. Kind of a bit of a waste, as, again, I would have liked to see it with him saving Uraka with that kind of love thing, but this is also an insane way to have Deku unlock Float. We then see Gran Torino, who, yes, is still alive, but injured, remembering his time flying alongside Nana as she used her Float quirk. He then smiles to himself, saying, "It's like back then." This is great. This chapter is insane. Deku internally announces that he is using the quirk Float. Deku then says out loud to Shigaraki in the air, "I'll stop you, I'll do everything I can." And that is where the chapter ends. And that is an insane chapter. If you guys would like to see the screen grabs, I'll leave them down below, but unfortunately I can't put them in here due to copyright. And My Hero Academia will be on hiatus next week, but will resume the week after in issue 42 of Weekly Shonen Jump. But I honestly just think that this chapter has been so crazy. I don't want to wait 2 weeks, man. Deku just unlocked Float, and now he's going to fight Shigaraki. I cannot wait to see what happens next. I honestly am so excited to see the translated version for this chapter as well. But be sure to let me know down below what you thought of these spoilers. Now again, take them with a grain of salt, as these are rough translations that go alongside with the pictures. Of course, the full translated version will be out this Sunday on the Shonen Jump app, which I will be doing a read reaction to. I hope you guys did enjoy this sort of spoiler summary. Let me know if you guys do want to see this more often. And as usual, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.